is it just me or like being on kind of, I don't even know if it really matters being on the spiritual journey, but when I embarked on a spiritual journey a few years ago, I feel like I became like a lot more softer or like kind of almost a pushover in a sense because I think I had a certain perception of like what being love and compassion and all of this is. And I just try to be like extra nice in a sense for other people. And I am guilty of being a people pleaser my whole life. And that's maybe why that it showed up the way it did. And recently, when I start reflecting on it, that's not necessarily like being love and light and being kind. Because every time I do that, I realize how unkind that is for myself. Because either I am suppressing my emotions or my truth in order to please other people and be nice, And kind of I've been telling them what they want to hear because I wanted them to feel better or good about themselves. And only recently I realized that how I might have been robbing them of their own transformation and evolution, I guess, in a sense, because I don't know, I was just so afraid of hurting people's feelings that I became this person who's just so over validating all the time and overcompensating and like being extra nice and try to help people feel comfortable with me. But only recently, surprisingly, it really started to get to me how much that it's been affecting me and my own emotional well-being in a sense. So I've been really reminding myself not to over validate people and to speak more of my truth and remind myself that other people's emotions are not my responsibility. Of course, with an intention that I would never hurt them intentionally, but I guess what I'm saying is that I have made a choice to not put other people before me and choosing myself. And I still find myself feeling uncomfortable at time to times, and I still find myself like kind of try to sneak back into the old way of being, and it's difficult. So I'm kind of curious that if you have been a people pleaser and if you've been feeling called to really come back to yourself, nurture yourself, and speak the truth and just tend to your emotions and not to abandon yourself for the fear of hurting other people. Because sometimes when we tell them the truth, it might hurt them temporarily, temporarily at that moment, but it does help them actually grow. So I realized that how it might have been really holding them back by me not telling them the truth. And all the times that I struggled because I thought being kind or compassionate and loving, I thought it meant like it's silly, but I thought it meant that I just accept them and just understand them and just let it go and forgive them. But obviously, some part of me had, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always wanted to like express, but I just never got to express anything because I didn't want to make things worse or I didn't want to make somebody feel worse. And recently, when I started to really finally start connecting with myself and building this relationship with myself, I realized that how over time all of these things, it's been just adding up and upsetting me with myself for not speaking the truth. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about this because I left home 3 months ago and I been kind of practicing being alone and completely alone and being independent. So I left home with like pretty much nothing but some clothes and just my car. And I didn't have a lot of money, but I moved to a small town and I just got a job, part-time job at a little store there, um, and found a place. And yeah, last 3 months have been kind of like the way that it all happened was kind of magical. But yeah, I went away to reflect on myself and learn more and be alone. And I'm finally back home and I didn't get to record my video and I was really upset about that. But I'm showing up today and we're continuing with it. So I'm trying to give myself a pat on the shoulder saying like it's okay. One day won't change anything. We just we just have to continuously showing up. So yeah, I felt a little bit thrown off and I didn't know what to really talk about, but when I was reflecting on my journey, that was definitely one of the things that kind of came to my mind, which I don't know why it took me so long to realize that, but I've been really practicing not over validating people and speaking my truth and kind of showing up for myself and holding myself a little bit differently. And I did notice that a lot of people that who had showed interest in me, like as a friend, you know, they kind of start to drift away. So obviously, um, it was not the type of friendship that they were looking for, the real kind of connection. And it's been weird because I guess like part of me, like being a people pleaser, I don't know about you, but I think the part of me being a people pleaser is there's many reasons, but one, I was afraid to hurt other people's feelings. And two is obviously I want people to like me. And um, I feel like there's more, but that's the kind of the main thing that I can think of right now. And when I stopped pleasing people and validating people and all of this, like people kind of start like they start fading away. And I know that it's in a sense that it's kind of clearing the path, I guess. Like it's just gonna have to, right? Because obviously those weren't genuine connections, and they were looking for my validations, and they wanted somebody to just to continuously make them feel better, and they weren't really into doing the self work and healing. So time to time, it's kind of like I don't even know. I don't want to say it's that hurtful because I feel like I'm a kind of like tough girl. But yeah, it's a strange feeling because I realize that people have always liked me in a sense, a lot of people, but that was all because of the way that I was. Like I was always pleasing and I was always so easygoing. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see that a lot of people they only liked those parts of me and they don't I feel like they don't really like the truth of me, which is kind of sad, I guess. But I'm sure, like, if I continuously be true to myself, that I will attract more people who are more genuine and authentic and um, just kind of like accepts me for who I am as much as I do now because I wasn't before. Um, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I'm kind of curious to know if you've ever really experienced anything like that, and if you are feeling called to just kind of come back to yourself more than just continuously pleasing other people and being there for them, because I feel like time to time, like that really requires us to abandon ourselves and choose them before ourselves. So I'm on the journey of choosing myself, showing up for myself, and it hasn't been as easy as I feel like it should be, but keep showing up. And if you're on that similar journey in the path, I hope you join me and yeah, just share your experience with me if you will. Um, yeah, I guess that's kind of it for the day. I'll kind of keep it short and I will try to show up with something more interesting tomorrow or something, I don't know, more of a value. But if you're kind of going through that anyways, I want to remind you that you're definitely not responsible for other people's feeling. For sure, you know? And sometimes the truth hurts, but it also helps them grow and it helps us grow and be true to ourselves. And if you're in a kind of already on the similar journey and have noticed that people kind of fading away because you're starting to like really embody your true self and people around you don't really appreciate that, I am pretty sure that eventually we'll find the right people. And if you let me, I will be that person for you. And yeah, so thanks for being here. And I hope you have a blessed day or evening. And see you again. Bye.